Hello, hello. Hey there, guys. Welcome to video number 13. I've had a chance. I had some dinner, and I was kind of chilling for a bit, and I had a chance to kind of think about the passport stuff a little bit more, and there is some things that I want to share with you guys above and beyond. Basically, all the stuff that I'm going to be going over in this video. We're going to be changing gears in this video quite a bit, but the first part of this video, I want to go over some additional passport stuff. Once you actually get your 4- or 5-star passport, now how do you operate using it, okay? So the first thing I want to go over with you is 18 USC 1545. It says whoever violates any safe conduct or passport duly obtained and issued under authority of the United States shall be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. This is from my website, the resources section, but we can go ahead and just open it up on this bad boy too, and I could show it to you. Safe conduct violation. Whoever violates any safe conduct or passport duly obtained and issued under authority of the United States shall be fined under this code, imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. So, in other words, as long as you're not doing anything crazy or illegal or whatnot, then nobody can stop you from traveling in your private, non-commercial automobile for non-commercial purposes. Okay. I also wanted to show you. 18 USC section 242, whoever under color of law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on account of such being an alien, or by reason of his color or race, than are prescribed for the punishment of citizens shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both, and if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts involve the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and if death results in the acts committed in violation of this section, or if the acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, which would be getting arrested without probable cause. That's called kidnapping. Aggravated sexual abuse or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse or an attempt to kill shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life, or both, or maybe sentenced to death. So pretty hardcore. That just means if your rights are fucked with or mitigated or destroyed in any way, then the person's going to get in trouble. And if you actually get hurt from what happened, they can get in a lot of trouble. That's what that means. And then we have the same thing, a little bit different. 18 USC section 241, if 2 or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in the state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of him having so exercised the same, or if 2 or more persons go in disguise on the highway or on the premises of another with intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or for life or for both, or may be sentenced to death. So this one here goes under conspiracy, conspire to injure, oppress, right? As we cleared up, I think it was in the introductory video or video number 2, conspiracy theory. We already looked up conspiracy, which is a group of people that are coming together trying to, figure out how to do bad things, usually secretively, right? So another thing that happens if you have conspiracy, which is multiple people doing this kind of thing, another thing that falls under 18 USC section 241 is RICO laws. passed in 1970, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, is a federal law designed to combat organized crime in the United States. It allows prosecution and civil penalties for racketeering activity performed as part of an ongoing criminal enterprise. Such activity may involve illegal gambling, bribery, kidnapping, murder, money laundering, counterfeiting, embezzlement, drug trafficking, slavery, and a host of other unsavory business practices. So basically, when you start getting conspiracy charges, you can start getting RICO. And when you get into RICO, you can kind of tear apart a group pretty aggressively, and you can charge people who are kind of up the command line that you wouldn't normally be able to get to because they weren't there. Extended criminal penalties and a civil cause of action for acts performed as part of an ongoing criminal organization. Okay, so if you ever have a situation where your rights are being violated, you have USC 1545, which is kind of like your right to travel and stuff like that, and be someplace or go places or leave places that you want to be, locational. Then you have 18 USC 242, which is anyone taking away any of your rights at all whatsoever. Single person. And then you have 18 USC 241, which is 2 or more people, which would be a conspiracy, which carries much, much larger, 10 times because this one's up to 10 years they can be served for all working together, which is 10 times worse than the other one, 242. So these are the main ones that you're going to need to memorize and have maybe on a piece of paper or maybe even on the back window of your car with little decals, something like that would be kind of cool. Or even on a license plate, because you don't really need a license plate. After you do all this, you can just get whatever license plate you want and just put kind of whatever you want on it. Registration, the way The registration, just as a quick side note, the registration on your vehicle, the way that works is basically when you get a state license plate and you get a title from the state, you're gifting your car to the state in exchange for a certificate of title. So they actually have the original title. The original title is called an MCO or an MSO. So what is an MCO? It's like a manufacturer's certificate of origin. Manufacturer certificate of origin. So what you're given, so this is what you're originally given. This is actually the original title, and then you give the MCO up to the state, and then the state gives you a certificate of title in exchange, but they're the ones who actually hold the original title. So the state actually owns your vehicle, and then you pay for registration and stuff like that. If you're paying for registration and your registration is renewed, essentially what that means is that you're paying to rent your own vehicle. Legally, that's kind of how registration works. Okay. In a lot of states and stuff like that, if you go to your registration sticker and you look very, very closely inside the hologram of your sticker, license plate registration sticker hologram. I don't know if it's going to show us. It says like authorized user deep inside the hologram. You have to look deep inside the hologram. It says authorized user or authorized driver or something like that. So basically the whole point that I'm trying to make is that if you can get an MCO, that's ideal. One of the ways you can get an MCO is you can actually salvage your vehicle, and when you salvage your vehicle, you get a new type of title, and you can just keep that rather than giving it to the state for a new license plate and a new title from the state. The other thing you can do is just simply get out-of-state plates and then just wait until the registration expires, or just get rid of the registration and cancel it. That's generally speaking how you can kind of get out of the jurisdiction of, because you have multiple areas of jurisdiction. You have the driver's license, you have the license plate, and you have the registration, right? So it's a little bit tricky. The most ideal way to be outside of the jurisdiction is to have the passport and then to also have the MCO. The next best thing is to have some sort of out-of-state plates with no registration or expired registration. That's the best way to do it. And then if you get pulled over, you just have your out-of-state plates on there with the old sticker on there or whatever. If you get pulled over, then you just give them the passport and you just show them, 18 USC 1545, 18 USC 242, and 18 USC 241. And that's all you need to not have to worry about all of the road-related, jurisdiction-related problems, right? So that's that part. That's your three main weapons that you're going to need in your back pocket at all times to operate using your new 4- and 5-star passport. And then the other thing I wanted to show you guys is like a side note, because I was looking for it before and I couldn't find it. I found types of passports. So this is really interesting, okay? So you have a regular passport, a service passport, an official passport, and a diplomatic passport. Now, I know I said diplomatic immunity and all that kind of thing earlier. This is referring to a completely different type of passport. This is a foreign service officer or a person having achieved diplomatic status. You can actually pay like some astronomical amount of money and people can actually get these for you. I think it's like $100,000 or something ridiculous. I don't really see the value in that. Because the process that I showed you earlier on video number 11 is actually, I believe it's more powerful than these diplomatic passports. So when you know how to do it right, the diplomatic passport, I mean, I don't think it's as powerful as a 5-star passport. Then you have the official passport, right? This is, it's so silly. So this is your 1, 2, and 3-star passports, okay? 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4-star to some degree. This is an officer or employee of the U.S. government traveling abroad to carry out official duties and family members of such persons, right? So, of course, any U.S. citizen would fit that category. Number 2, a U.S. government personal services contractor. That's also a U.S. citizen. A non-personal services contractor traveling abroad to carry out duties in support of and pursuant to a contract with the U.S. government, an official or employee of a state, local, tribal, or territorial government traveling abroad to carry out official duties in support of the U.S. government. I would assume a 4-star is probably something like number 3 or number 4 here under official passport, and then a 5-star is a regular passport. I know it doesn't sound exciting. They probably named it that way on purpose to get people to look away from it. So A is regular passport. A regular passport is issued to a national of the United States. And then you have service passport. When authorized by the department, a service passport may be issued to a non-personal services contractor traveling abroad to carry out duties in support of and pursuant to a contract with the U.S. government. When exceptional circumstances make a service passport necessary to enable the individual to carry out his or her contractual duties. If I had to assume, I'd say a 4-star passport is probably number 4 here. An officer or employee of a state, and then a 5-star passport is a regular passport. So there you go. Those are the different types of passports. Again, the 4-star is a big jump up from the other ones. And then moving on to a totally separate thing, because I just forgot about those things and I wanted to tell you, we're going to move on to point number 13 of the state-national theory. So point number 13, we're going to be changing gears here quite a bit. So when someone's arrested, there are special bonds made and sold or traded called penal bonds. And this is one of the ways that the Department of Justice makes all the money that it makes, right? The bonds are the only thing keeping a person in jail. And if you pay off the bonds, the jail can no longer hold the person. This is a well-buried secret, and you can clear out the prisons with this information. So for anyone listening to these videos and they have family members or anyone that they care about that's in prison or jail, all you have to do is figure out how to use either their it would be their SESTA-KV trust account. There's all the trust accounts associated with a person's social security number and stuff like that. You can use those trust accounts to pay off the penal bonds. And if you do that, then the jail has no choice but to release the person, right? I mean, obviously, I hope people aren't going to do that with bad people that deserve to be in jail for that did bad things, but these bonds are full-blown securities, and they're traded on private markets. The creation of these bonds prove that the courts are actually corporations. They are not government. They are private corporations making a fortune on bonds and fines. The purpose of a corporation is maximum profits for shareholders, so common sense and logic dictates the next question would be, who are the shareholders? Yeah. So there are some people who own private prisons. There's even some things I've seen on Facebook and stuff like that of people who own private jails. It's not even a secret. I mean, the jails are all privatized now. Courts that send people to jail for crimes with no victim are actually creating indentured servitude, slavery. They create and sell bonds on a private market, but they also get to create free slave labor by having prisoners work for pennies per hour. The entire justice system is a private corporation, and their two major money makers are bonds and indentured servitude. If you think companies like Nike and Apple might use cheap labor from other countries, you'd be shocked by how we have horrific slavery right here in the USA. We are slaves through taxation and also through the justice system. Again, the 14th Amendment didn't free the slaves. It turned us all into slaves, okay? Indentured servitude and slavery is more alive now than it's ever been all through history. When the 14th Amendment was ratified, it didn't free the blacks. It actually enslaved all of America. In fact, blacks to this day technically only have civil rights, not human rights. We've gone over that a little bit. I'm sure that probably wasn't the intention, but sadly that's what happened. I mean, now, after I wrote this a while ago, I'm probably thinking maybe it was the intention. The only people who are currently in jail who should be there are people who have violated common law, not statutory law. Statutory law applies only to corporations and trusts, not natural live humans, meaning men and women only. All people who have violated common law should be judged by a jury of their peers, and they should be educated in law and given a chance to repair the damage they have done. This is how a common law court operates. Law can be truly beautiful and sane. What you see in today's world is so horrific, degraded, and criminal. Law allows the defendant to face their accuser and allows the group to demand a change in behavior and reparations, not tickets and infringements and all the other bullshit that you see in society. Real law is where people are not bothered unless there is evidence that their behavior is hurting others. That is true freedom. That is true law. During an arraignment, you can ask for the penal sum, then pay it, and walk right out. You've always heard that the rich don't go to jail. Well, that's how they do it. So, there you go. I'm going to do another short video here. So that's all I'm going to do on this one. We'll move on to video number 14 here shortly. I hope this was useful for you. Do be sure to write down those three passport 18 USC 1545, I believe, 18 USC 242, 18 USC 241, and then do a little research on RICO and what it means. And because RICO is applied to any violation of 18 USC 240, Section 241, which is a conspiracy charge. So you could probably link. So let's say, for example, there's some organization or something that you would say is being conspiratorial like that. You can let them know, look, you know, I have this 4 or 5 star passport situation. I've done a lot of things to change my status, and I'm a beneficiary of United States, and you know, as per 18 USC Section 241 and RICO laws, you do not want to be committing conspiracy type fraud or conspiracy type anything with me, man, because you can press charges, or I don't really know exactly how it all works, but you can probably press charges and specifically press charges in that area, and I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good or fun for them. So there you go. Okay, guys. I will see you on video number 14.